I'm not going to propose to a guy ever.
And tomorrow,
where do you live, Henry?
Are you in Lagos?
I want to
Are you in
get
Nigeria?
married.
How will you not feel
Just like
attached
a
after
must.
sex?
Yeah.
Like, no.
About every parent becomes the police in the lives of their kids.
Proposing is not like me. I will just come direct like you guys do and open one ring. And
Okay,
no.
so
Guy, never reach me will marry me.
That's like you popping question.
There was a communication, something happened. So there's something like accidental
I'm
pregnancy.
working more than 12 hours because I'm going to wake earlier than him to take care of the children.
Do you know you are naturally, supernaturally built that way?
Yeah,
Do you know? Do you know?
Imagine what
God has divinely made you like that.
Good evening and welcome to the lounge. My name is Margaret Esazo, and of course joining me on set is Apampa. How are you doing today, Apampa?
Very well. Great to be here once again.
And Moinyoluwa. How are you,
Hello,
Moinyo?
I'm fine, thank
look
you.
Beautiful as usual.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
gentle
You look
today,
beautiful
Tia.
too. What did you say?
You're gentle today.
Of course, I'm a gentle
We
lady.
always banter every time we start this show, but
See,
please, it's
right.
not about you guys.
Apapa is
See,
the one that is
Diana.
always triggering me. Apapa, what have I done to you?
I know.
You can't just see a gentle, pretty lady sitting down and just look at her and
What did you
admire
say
and move
first?
We
on.
will leave the both of you and
Anyways.
just continue the show. So guys, today we're discussing something very interesting. I mean, it has become sort of a societal norm, or will I say a cultural norm, this particular conversation we are having today. Hence, we are bringing it before you. Does having children bring fulfillment? Does having children bring fulfillment? I hear Moyi saying, there. Yes. Does having children bring fulfillment? So quickly, I will first ask Akpampa as the only guy in the room.
Yep.
Akpampa, do you think that having children brings fulfillment?
Of course, it does. I mean, the beauty of or the joy of any parent or any human is to have the carbon copy or is or a carbon copy. And I've heard people that have kids say it's a different kind of emotion when you see your child for the very first time. It brings a whole lot of joy, and I mean, you are fulfilled. You know that you fulfilled that love, regeneration, that love, procreation.
Okay.
Of course, there are people that they might not toe that line, but it's always lovely when you have children.
Thank you, Akpampa. So quickly, Moyi, how would you define fulfillment?
Fulfillment has to be when you set your mind to something and you are willing or hoping that thing brings you satisfaction, that thing brings you everything that you wish and you hope for.
Okay.
So speaking to children being a fulfillment, are they fulfillment? It depends. There are some people who will see children as a fulfillment. There are some people who will see children as I just had it just happened. I don't know. Who are they? Who are these people? Right? And some people will just see children as, you know what, I just gave birth to them.
Yeah.
I just give birth to them. They are not expecting anything from them. And so I would say children are a sort of fulfillment, but you don't let it get into your head. There's a point there.
Okay.
You don't let having children as an achievement get into your head.
Okay. So I remember that when I first started the show, I spoke about how it has become more like a cultural norm. Now, cultural norm in the sense that when a couple first gives birth, what is expected of a couple is to have a child almost immediately. I mean, people begin to watch your stomach. We call them womb watchers. You know, when you wear one big boo-boo, or you walk somehow, or you spit, they want to check out, is there baby?
Yeah.
What's going on? Do you
Exactly,
understand?
yeah.
And now there's a societal norm where the society expects that because you are married, you should automatically have children. Now, like you said, fulfillment is tantamount to satisfaction, something that you've derived joy in, something that you say, okay, when you look at it, you say, okay, this thing gives me this much joy. Now, when it comes to children, children are beautiful beings. I mean, you cannot take it away. Having children is everything. But now we have come to a space, or rather, would I say a place where people no longer want to co-parent. Now, we see a lot of people go out, they do IVFs, they do surrogacy, like people just want to give birth. Now, the question is, when did we sort of accept this norm where now you no longer get married to want to give birth to children, you just want to birth children because everybody has children and you sort of love children, so you want to birth children?
Well, I think it's based on the cliche that is attached to marriage, and most of the time some people that get married, they just get married to fulfill the societal obligation, not necessarily that they are really interested in getting married. Now, over time, that has changed, and with civilization, people now realize that you don't necessarily have to get married before you can have children of your own. Not before, the only way you know that you can have children if you are not going to get married is to go and adopt. But now these days, there is surrogacy, you know, someone can carry a baby, and so on and so forth. So I think it comes with enlightenment, and it comes with the belief that you don't necessarily have to get married before you can have your kids, the kids of your own. And of course, it has its own good sides. I mean, if you are the type of person that don't believe in the institution of marriage, you don't have to worry about procreating. All you need to do is go through either of the routes that are there, surrogacy, IVF, or whatever. And of course, the bad side is that
I was about to get there. There's a disadvantage.
Now, the bad side is that in our society, it's against the norm. It's, especially for a female, if you are not married and you have the child of your own, the society, the African culture don't subscribe to that. The African culture believes once you are of age, you get a man for yourself, you are married and you have children. So when we have people that are anomaly to this culture, it's strange to people. It's strange to people, especially for the uneducated, but
is it really
for the less
strange now?
Yeah, for people like us who are vast and who are enlightened, of course we know that there's no big deal in this. But for the older generation, they don't see it that way.
Okay, so does that mean that the older generation are somewhat selfish?
No, they are not selfish. Selfish in the sense that they want you to go through the normal way to have children. No,
because that you don't want to go through the normal way.
No, see, I don't know. It feels like the more we get civilized, the more we begin to make unusual things normal, abnormal things feel normal.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to sound so religious, but it is the normal thing that God has already put in place. A man and a woman should come together to give birth to children. Yeah. Now, you are binding yourself together by what is called marriage before you get children.
Yeah.
Now, we have moved from getting married, so people maybe just having intercourse and it happened, and before you know, you don't even need to do the normal traditional marriage. You move in and you start living together because you need to take care of the children together. Now we have graduated from that point. We are now at the point whereby you just want a baby daddy, you just want a baby mama. You don't even want to do anything. It's getting really annoying these days that you just see people show up online and you just see somebody showing pregnant baby bump and everybody's happy, and I'm like, why are you happy? Of course, okay, having a child is a good thing, but really, what happened to you getting married to this person? Why don't you go through the normal process? Why is everybody trying to cut corners?
This conversation you're having actually bet something. I'm not really going to call the celebrity, I'm not going to call the celebrity out, but I mean, when two people come together, even as youngsters, while they are dating or courting or whatever it is they call it, and then the woman takes in. Now she gives birth to the child and she expects that because you put the seed in her,
right?
Parent. Now the man starts moving funny or the woman starts moving funny. This one says, I've done this for the child. This is what I can afford. This one says, it means that you were not ready and you decided to have that child. Now let's quickly speak to responsibility, because this is part of it. There are so many people that say, okay, yes, I'm supposed to have a child, but you're not responsible enough to take care of a child. So what do you think they should do? I'm speaking to people that are not responsible enough. You know that career-wise, you cannot take care of this child. You know that when it comes to attention, you cannot even be readily available for this child. Then you are not even there. But you want to birth a child because everybody says you should birth a child, you have come of age, you need to birth a child. What would you say to these ones? Now,
this is where that fulfillment comes in. People just want to have children now as a fulfillment. The society wants me to have a child. My parents are disturbing me to have children.
It is much, especially on the female folks, when, the belief is that once you are of a certain age, you get yourself a man, and whether you are ready mentally, financially or not, you guys should have children. Even when you have the man and you believe that, okay, this is not the right time for you to have kids, everybody's watching out and asking you questions about when you are going to give birth. Yes, the pressure is there. While I admit that you have to be ready financially, because it takes a whole lot to raise a kid. people say that once you start having children, your life literally stops, because you have to take care of these people until they're of age, they're adults, and they leave your house. And that is the reality. It takes a whole lot.
Yeah.
So if you are not in that space yet, even if you are financially buoyant, you find it very difficult. I mean, that's where you see some men, the kid is crying in the middle of the night, they find it difficult to take care of the kid, and they expect the mom, after going through the day's hard work, to still, cater and all those things. So you have to be in that airspace, apart from the money, which is also very important. You have to be in that airspace, because it takes a whole lot
to take care of a child.
To take care of a child.
And like I will always say, everybody is a parent.
Yeah.
Everybody, you're a parent, whether or not you're married. Because when one child comes close to you now, and that child does something wrong, you want to say, no, that thing you're doing is very wrong. So everybody can be a parent. But is everybody a parent?
No.
Now, you see, Papa, you said something about stress. Now, let's bring the question to stress. There's something we call emotional stress, mental stress, psychological stress. This thing can happen to any parent. And I'm not even exempting the men. Do you understand? Because there are some men that are very intentional about these kids, and when the wife is trying to sleep a bit, they are taking care of the children. I've seen such men. So yes, this kind of men exist. But let's now talk about the stress that comes with it. You know that there's a way a person will be stressed. They will think that you are irresponsible. Somebody will say to you that you are not a good person. I sit in the bus sometimes and I see women that are carrying, like they can have like 3 children on their legs, and they're like, please help me carry your sister, help me carry your brother, even though I know my own sister, but they say help me carry your sister, help me carry your brother. Then you see this baby that they just fed, crying and screaming,
very cranky.
And maybe the mom is uncomfortable in the vehicle, she cannot remove her dress and start feeding. All those women in the bus, like they're not even looking at the woman's face, they are bashing it so much. Some of them start crying, some of them really start crying, and they don't start asking, they just carelessly say, why them now, this one now, and it now begs the question, were they not happy giving birth to that child? Of course they were happy giving birth to that child, but stress came in. So now the question is, now you're quite young, both of you, I'm also young, we're all single, so we're looking at it in the sense of stress. How do you think they can manage it? Because some people will say, some people cannot understand when a woman is responsible. Now let's look at it now. Let's look at stress. Let's take stress as a very strong point. What would you say if somebody is so stressed? Would you say that person is not still happy if the person just says, please, you, my child, just stay in one place, I want to think, just stay? Do you think that person is not still fulfilled, is not satisfied that person got a child?
We shouldn't contrast both situations. I mean, you can still be fulfilled in having children, and I mean, it's a process. Child rearing, child development comes with its own collateral damage, and as a parent you should be ready for it. And of course there are times that you are stressed up, and there are times that you just want to be alone, but you have to understand the fact that these are your responsibilities, these children are your responsibilities. Does that make you less fulfilled? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, the joy is that you have the kids of your own. I mean, that's enough fulfillment. It's a different ball game going through the process. I think that is where people mix it up. Yes, the mother that is in the bus, that is stressed up, taking care of the children, pick any of them, kidnap any of them, she will run after you.
Definitely.
I mean,
that's 9 months. 9 months.
I mean, we see, even with animals, we see them.
Yeah.
At one moment, they are chasing the kids away, and if you want to go and pick the kid, they run after you. So it is. I mean, the book, The Joy of Motherhood. It's the process is different, but the fulfillment is still there, because you don't want to lose any of these kids.
Okay, I'll hold you there while I reel out the phone lines. 091-337-34592. Does having children bring fulfillment? That's what we're discussing here today. 091-337-34592. Do well to call us in or drop a comment in the comment section below. I'll be reading all out. Now, quickly to you. Now, some people say that good parenting or having such a fulfilled life as a mother stems up from how one was brought up. Would you accept that?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. I feel like the way a person was brought up will reflect in the way you bring up your own children. If you're not raised with love, if you're not raised with so much care and attention, you might not have enough to give to that child.
Okay.
Now, say for instance, a woman that was maltreated while she was growing up, she didn't really grow up from a family where there's so much love or so much care or anybody really cared about her. So she's living a life of, it's just me in my world. Okay. Now, there's this child who has come in. No matter how much she loves that child, because he's a child, you will love her love the child like a mother will love the child. But there is still this idea that you have in your head that I own my life. I don't want to live my life for another child. Okay. Because you are not ready with enough love, you might not have enough love to give a child. Like it or not, children need more love than you think that you can give. See, they will frustrate you to the point that you would want to hate them. Now that's when that stress comes in. Children will stress you. Children will frustrate your life. See, as much as you love them, they are very nice. You can see a baby outside and you are like, oh, very chubby baby, I want to carry the baby. If you are the owner of that child, you will know what it means to go through stress of raising that child. Now, if the mother does not have enough love, see, when it leaves the point where you are seeing your baby as being cute and the baby stops being cute and becomes naughty, you might not have enough love to handle that baby at that point.
Okay. Let's just say you might not have enough love to handle that baby at that point. Now, if I take it from where you have taken it from, that you might not have enough to take care of that child, what about those who refuse to have children because they've been traumatized? And let's just say they've not even been traumatized, they've seen it happen to other persons. Now they've said to themselves, we are not getting children. Papa, what would you say to them?
Well, it's really their choice, and there are reasons why they don't want to give birth, or they don't want to have children.
But do you think it's okay to not want to have children?
I mean, it's okay. It's absolutely fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's absolutely fine. I mean, I have a strong opinion on that, which I'm not going to mention, really.
Why?
Nah, I'm not going to mention, because I believe that if you are medically fit, except you have a medical challenge, probably having a child or having children is risky to your life. Of course, I mean, you don't want to go through that, through that process. Then I understand, but you are medically fit, you don't have any problem. I think you should have children. But people that don't want to give birth, I mean, they have their reasons. And I don't.
They even have reasons. They don't just want to have children.
Nobody will just wake up and say you don't just want to have.
Yeah, some people don't like it.
And that is a reason. That is a reason.
At all.
That is a reason, Margaret. You cannot just wake up and say I don't want to have children.
Some people don't want to go through that process. It takes a mental toll on parents, really, on both sides, especially the mothers. I mean, it's a whole lot. I mean, you see some, they become shadow of themselves when they give birth, and you are wondering what happened. It's not that the husband is maltreating them in the house. It's because of the stress of raising these kids.
Exactly.
And some women or some people see those, and they say, nah, I don't want to go through this. I just want to be myself. Of course, I don't think it's quite rampant on this side of the world. But then, I think if you are medically fit, if you are good to go, you should have children. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, I've heard friends talk about seeing their child for the first time, and they burst into tears. It's lovely because you fulfilled. I mean, it's something of
seeing a mini you.
I mean.
See, I can't wait.
You're saying this with so much joy.
It's beautiful. I mean, when you see your child and the little thing is in your hand and you're like, oh,
it's mini you.
Like,
I can't wait to have a child, right?
Absolutely. It's something that I always look forward to. Yes, I have to be in that airspace because, I mean, after that one, I have to start buying that. After the first
and you buy Pampers.
so that joy will not turn to sadness. Afterwards.
Oh my God.
So I believe that. I mean, if you are, except it's a risk to your life, which I wouldn't advise anybody to go through. You should have children.
Okay.
They might not be necessarily your own. Probably you can adopt. You can. You can have a surrogate mother.
Yeah.
I mean, this is. They are very nice. Those things are very nice. Yeah.
It's not.
Those are tiny things.
It's not things.
Maybe yours will be a thing, but they are children.
Those little things.
Children.
Yeah, those children.
So Moyi, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Akpampa. What about those that refuse to have kids? They don't want to have kids. Like you told me now, you said not even liking kids is a reason in itself.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to have kids. Is it okay for people not to want to have kids?
Well, to me, I would say it is okay, because before you can come to that conclusion that you do not want to have kids, you must have your reason, like I said. The reason of I don't like kids is valid. Some people don't just like kids. There are some people that have kid phobia. They don't want to see children around them because they can't handle the mess they create.
Yeah.
They can admire them from afar, but please don't be mine. We see it a lot online on the comment section. You be like, oh, they're so fine, but they can't be mine. Just still like that. Do you get? So, some people don't want to put themselves in that space.
Yeah.
They don't have the time. Some people know that both they and their spouse would not have the time to raise that child, and they don't want to bring a child into the world who will not have enough love. It's just you creating more problems to the society. So it's valid if you say you don't want to have children. Of course, what's the meaning when you have a child that you don't care for, you don't love, you don't raise the child well? You just keep betting problems to the society. So it's fine if you say you don't want to have children and stick to that.
Okay.
Don't have children.
So why do you not think that people argue and say if you don't have a child, you have not lived?
That's the problem, actually. You have no right to tell someone that because you don't have a child, you have not lived. So you're trying to say that people that are barren, sorry to use that word, people that are looking up to God for their own children, they are not human beings, or they are wicked beings. No, now people have the right to live their life. You don't want to have children, fine. You don't want to bear your own child, but you can be taking care of other people's children. They're still your children, of course. I mean, you might not have biological children, you might have spiritual children, you might have people that you're taking care of in the orphanage home. They're still your
spiritual children.
They are still your children, Apampa.
I was going to ask.
I know that's spiritual.
No, the people that you raise religiously. Apampa.
No,
are you really asking me that question?
The way it came out, this was like, yeah, maybe you give it birth in one realm.
No, oh my God, what was
I just need
I meant the
religious world, like either
in the Islam world or the Christianity. You have people that you are grooming in religion, and you carry them as your children. You can take care of them as your own children.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah, because we see it a lot. We see it a lot, and some of these things have caused so many women to be depressed. It has caused so many men to take steps that on a normal day they would not take. Because why would you look at somebody and just say this person? I mean, I've heard it a lot. I've seen it with women that speak to these things. Some women are even vulnerable enough to come share their experiences online, and you're just tired. I remember an influencer recently, she shared an experience that, in fact, she was just going through the TikTok street and she saw it, how people were trolling a particular woman. So this woman comes out on a good day, I'm not going to call her name. She comes out to, just show off her life, how she's just enjoying herself, how she looks good, how she's glowing. I think she's been looking up to God for a child for like so long. So now that she posts that, the first 15 to 20, even 30 comments are like, you're busy eating and glowing when you don't have a child. I'm telling you guys are, some of
people
you
are mean.
Some of you
people are mean.
And they were coming for this lady saying, you're eating, you're glowing, you don't have a child yet. Look at what you look like. And your husband will marry that person. Sit down there and be wasting. You're just wasting. You're not getting any younger. Go and give birth. Go and give birth. Stop making noise online. When I saw those things, and when an influencer actually came up and spoke to it, I was really glad, because sometimes these things are tiring to speak on. Like when you look at the people that make the same comment, the same women like you. I'm not even talking about the men. I'm talking about women like you, dragging you like that.
That's why I said some people are
what
taking.
What would you expect that woman to do now? To her, she might feel that having kids is fulfilling enough. Like she not having kids, she has not fulfilled
anything.
Even if she's living a really good life now, she will feel like she has not even lived.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
See, let's be realistic here. We are not in the Western world. We are Africans. The Yorubas will say, "Mo biye, obodo bi titie." I mean, so that is our way. Yes, of course, things are changing, and barrenness is not a disease. And I think people that are very extreme with their opinion on those that are finding it difficult to give birth, I think that's not nice. But then, apart from those that are very strong on this, some people are even subtle about it. They won't tell you that you are barren. Subtly, we see it a lot. You just wedded 6 months. They're asking subtle questions.
Your business?
I mean, those ones are even as bad as those that would speak to your face and call you out.
What's your business?
And we have that in families.
Everywhere.
I mean, you just wedded, and the next thing is that 9 months from now.
In fact, if you cough, you're in trouble.
No, as they are.
Don't cough, self. Just come and say,
Margaret, they are joining you together. Like they said, in 9 months' time, we'll come and sit again and eat rice. And you ask yourself, are you so sure that they want to give birth to
happen in 9 months? What kind of pressure is this one?
That is the impression. That is the belief in their head. And if you don't meet up with the timeline, there's a problem. They start asking questions.
Exactly.
I mean, your mother will start asking you as the man that what's going on now?
What's going on?
And even the mother of the female would start asking questions that what's going on. That is our way. Is it the right thing? Absolutely not. But we also have to recognize the fact that we are not Westerners who can pick up an animal and have it as a child and will all of their property to. We believe that we have to have children of our own. Must you have a strong opinion about that on other people that find it difficult to have children? Absolutely not. Absolutely. Even the subtle way. Let people be themselves. Some people they will tell you that we are getting married, we are fit medically, we don't have any problem, but we don't want to give birth in the next 3 years. It's their decision. They've seen things and they realize that no, I don't think at this stage of our life having additional bodies in the home, you know, we'll be cool with it. And how many people will you start explaining to that it's our decision?
I mean, we should come to that space where we understand that married couple, newly wedded couple needs their space. No, they need to decide how they run their family. Extended family don't have no opinion to when you are having a child or not.
Even if they're not, it's my own. Even if they're not newly wedded, you have no business in foreclosing. See, I'll say people will show you what they want to show you. Everything that you see on the net is people showing you what they want you to see.
True.
Projecting what they want you to see. You really do not know what goes on in some people's head. As real as some people say that they are on the internet and say this is the real me, this is my reality, some people are still not living that reality. They are just showing you what they want you to see. And the fact that they are showing you what they want you to see doesn't give you the right to speak to them in that manner. You see, when I saw that particular ladies, it's a bit emotional for me because it was very painful. Like they came at this woman like they sent them from hell. Like they sent them, like the devil sent them on an errand. They go and frustrate her. And you know the funny thing, she'll be responding, and be smiling and saying, that's your business, I'm living my best life. But I promise you, off the ground, off the internet, now there are no cameras, there's no lights. It's just you alone with your thoughts. In fact, it will be like the worst dark space that she will find herself. Unless, of course, over the years she has been stigmatized by this, and then she has told herself that I can stand this. Unless that. Do you understand? So now the question is, how do we sort out this mess? How do we get people to stop speaking to having children as so fulfilling that those people that are not able to get at this time can't even stand, they can't stand in society and speak?
Margaret, let me be frank with you, we can't stop it. We can only advise people because that's the way we are. The joy of every grandparent is to see their grandchildren, really. So we put so much priority on procreation. We put so much priority on procreation. And can we stop it? Can we stop people from having opinion about those that don't want children? Absolutely not. Because the reality is that how many people do you want to stop? How many people do you want to start, going hard on? We can only enlighten people and let them know that having children in this age and time is not the ultimate thing, especially for couples. It's not the ultimate thing. They can still do great things without having children. having them, of course, it's a good addition, but some don't really believe in it, and some might not be medically fit for it, and this is not even being potent or whatever. Some, maybe the lady just had a very serious surgery, and the doctor advised that, hey, I don't think it will be, wise for you to have children at this certain time, or even have children at all. Before, it used to be a very big challenge with CS. I mean, then I remember, if they tell you as a man that your wife will go through CS to have the children, you start praying. I mean, because we saw it as a bad thing, really. But with so much advocacy, with so much enlightenment, some men will say, I'd rather have my wife go through cesarean operation rather than go through the stress of laboring and all those things. So we can do that. Over time, people will come to that realization. IVF used to be a no-go area for some people that are looking for children. They see it as
it's very expensive.
Number one, is expensive, and they don't see it as even adoption.
It's not natural. It's artificial.
Even adoption. When you tell people that, why can't you consider the option of adoption? They say, no, they are not my children. But over time, people are now seeing it that, hey,
embrace it.
Legally, if you go through the legal ways, they are still your children. And can we stop it over time? No, we can't stop it. We can only enlighten, advocate, and let people realize that, see, it's not immediately that a couple gets married that you start expecting children. They have their life to live. Don't force them into taking decisions that they will regret at the end of the day, and they'll be forced to eat these children.
Okay, I confirm. So, what's your own take on this? Because I mean, if I'm clear, I stand with Akampa on this one. Do you understand? Sometimes these things have become literally a norm. Women that don't have children can't even speak in places. I mean, I've watched testimonies of women come out and say they were ridiculed. They were supposed to go for an event and they couldn't make it for an event. In fact, I have a close friend of mine who gave birth, but God rest the soul of the child. She lost the child. She was supposed to go for a birthday party because of that child. And the parents of that child she was supposed to go for that birthday for cancelled her. Told her that she does not have any child to comfort with, so she should not bother coming. And you see, my friend determined in that. She told me, Margaret, I'm telling you, I will never, even I shall bet children that God has given her own kids, and she has told me her children will never attend any party like that. So how do we make people stop? And Baba is saying that it can't happen, it can't stop. These people will continue to exist. Do you think that there's a way that we can manage these people?
See, like you said, it will never stop. Some people already, that's how they are brought up. Some people are so deep into this traditional stuff and they see children as fulfillment. That's why when I started, I said, seeing children as fulfillment is two ways. Sometimes you don't have to see them as fulfillment because you have high expectations. You build your life around this, that if you do not have it, then there's a problem. And that is what those women who are actually painting the picture of, if you don't have your child, that means you don't have anything worth living. You don't have to make children the center of your life. You are a being on your own. Children are blessings from God. God decides to bless you with those kids. You do not have to wrap yourself around that. If I don't have a child, that means my whole existence is wasted. There's nothing I'm living for. They are not source of your fulfillment. They are not source of your happiness. If you can't find happiness in other things, then you live a miserable life because you don't have children.
One of those who have to put their career on hold.
See, Margaret, that's why it is not a fulfillment. It is something that you choose to do. At some certain point in your life, you choose to make take some steps. You got to a point where you needed to go to university. You had to cancel some things to go to university. There's sometimes that you needed to do some certain things and you have to put important things on hold for that thing. Not because this one is, if I don't do this one, then my life will scatter. But because this is important at this point. And after this point, you move on. Now, the children that these people are carrying so highly, and you're saying, if I don't have children, I will die. There's nothing I'm living for. Some of them is their children that will kill them.
Look, you are not wrong.
Some of them is that children that will destroy their life, that will make them live a more miserable life than those that do not even have children.
You know this thing that you're saying, we see it everywhere.
Exactly.
We see it on the street.
So now you're making yourself, you're validating.
Give me this child.
You're validating yourself because you have children, and this is really wrong because children are a source of happiness. You need to be happy about them. But then there's a time that these children, you will not even see them again. You only have at least 18 years to live with those children. After 18 years, they are gone. You will have to beg to see them. You have to call them. Because I know me, Before my parents will see me, now just children will not see you. Now they are begging to see me, or they are calling to ask when they will see me. It's just children you are building your life around, Abi. So when you don't now see them around you, you now live a miserable life. So people that are making other people feel like they don't have a life because they don't have children need to stop. Even if you hold that opinion because you have, keep it to yourself. Nobody asks for it. Now I find a problem in people that just come online. You don't know what people are going through. You sit behind your phone, behind your keypad,
that's
typing things.
Warriors.
God, that is wicked. People are mean.
Fitted behind that keypad.
You can't even say it to their face, but you know you can be very comfortable behind your phone and type things.
One thing that we need to realize, especially with this menace of trolls on social media, is that most of the time they postulate their reality on others.
Yeah.
I mean, outside the social media, they are sad outside. They're extremely sad. They don't have a life.
Yeah.
So they believe that their safe haven, so to speak, is social media. And when they see people that everything is going on fine with, they start postulating their own sadness on them. You understand? So if you check most of these people outside social media, they're absolutely nothing. They're absolutely nothing to worry. I know it gets to some people when these social media trolls come for them. What I would advise is that, see, great, tough skin. I mean, one time I decided to do, especially on Twitter, to start muting people.
Why?
Because one thing I realized there was that it started affecting, and this one is not even about trolls. I'll just read some comments, or I read some opinion.
On your own post?
No, not on my post, generally. Maybe I'll just scroll it and I read some strong opinion, and it affects my mood for the day. And, you know, I will now start expressing that mood on people that don't offend me.
Right.
So it took a while before I now realized that was the problem.
Yeah.
So what I start doing now is that once I see, say, you know, get sense, I will just mute you.
Before you come and you want to spoil my
so that I won't even be seeing you. I don't want to see you at all. I mean, and that way I've sanitized my timeline. I see content I want to see. I speak to people I want to speak to. So when you see people that they don't have anything to offer, they are just trolls. They are just there outside social media. So if you now want to make a scapegoat out of them, you now realize that this one don't get anything.
That being said, Papa, how many kids do you want to have?
2 now.
Why now?
I don't want to burden my wife. Yes, I don't want
He's
to
very, very considerate man.
I don't want to burden my wife. I know childbearing takes a whole lot on women.
On women.
And you have, as a man, you have to be considerate. It's not every time that you be shooting. I mean, you see some people, they are gorgeous at 70s because they took care of the husband took care of them. So if you know you want to have, if you know you want to have your wife still stunning at 60, you need to start be intentional about it now.
Such a sweet man.
You need to be intentional about it now.
Take note. This one, Papa, is very serious. Please take note.
Don't overburden your wife. Yes. Your wife is not a baby making machine.
Not time,
Right. If she says she's good with one, reason with her.
Sure.
You will agree.
No, wait. I can only beg, say make it try on. Wait, because you know the second one is God forbid nothing will happen to them. The second one is assurance. Say okay, if these two, there's nothing that will happen. But if she says I want one, and there's a genuine reason for it. Of course, you can beg and say, please.
I know the way you are talking, but you will beg.
Yeah.
You will tell like, give me more than one.
But you know, some people they would give them one now. They will give another one. But because the both of them are from the same gender, they're like, let's try one now. And that one too will not turn out to be the gender. And let's try. Please don't. If it is a boy, take it like that. If it is a girl, take it like that. Children are gifts from God.
Okay.
Just make sure that you have means to take care of them.
Okay, so you, Moyi, how many?
I would say 2, then maybe 3. The last
one
one
is
might
2,
be.
then maybe 3.
I mean, I want twins.
Okay, 2. Wait, 2, then maybe 3, then the last one.
Which one is the last one?
That's what you said.
No, I said 2 or maybe 3.
Then
So
the
2 like twins and 1 if God gives me one more.
Okay, so that 2 is okay with you. Stand with that one.
Exactly.
And maybe when I'm like when the first 2 they've got to. Margaret, maybe when the first two are in boarding house, I would not tell my wife like, let's try baby of theirs. Let's try baby of theirs now. These two are in boarding house.
And
you say you want to take care of your wife.
No, so that the house will not be empty now. They've got to boarding house and like.
If you carry pregnancy, it's fine. How will you start to carry pregnancy after 10 to 15 years of giving the birth to the first one?
Some women are very strong, go.
And you want to take care of your wife.
Yes, now.
Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. It has been an amazing conversation with you both. And I'll just wrap up by saying this. Fulfillment to one person might not be fulfillment to another person.
Right.
So please let's slow down on our opinions. My name is Margaret Osaziwa, and you have been watching The Lounge. Until next week, Thursday. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Tomorrow,
Where do you live, Henry?
Are you in Lagos?
I want to
Are you in
get
Nigeria?
married.
How will you not feel
Just like
attached
you
after
must.
sex?
Yeah.
Like, no.
About every parent becomes the police
Okay.
in the lives of their kids.
Posing is not like me. I will just come direct like you guys do and open one ring and
Okay,
so guy, never reach me will marry me.
That's like you popping question.
There was a communication, something happened. So there's something like accidental
I'm
pregnancy.
working more than 12 hours because I'm going to wake earlier than him to take care of the children.
Do you know you are naturally, supernaturally built that way?
Yeah,
Do you know? Do you know?
Imagine what
God has divinely made you like that.
Imagine.